Cover discs were obviously nothing new to PC magazines. PC Format, now 33 issues old, had floppies on the cover since forever. And for issue 33, it was a lovely high-density disc with 1.4 full megabytes of compressed goodness on it. I'm being flippant, but actually you could do a lot with that space even in 1994 if you knew your users had a hard disk to decompress onto. Cover Disc 33 featured a demo of the game we just looked at, The Settlers, and another of Pinball Dreams 2, which, well, it's a rant for another time. The lineage of the 21st century pinball games is a little confusing, but as a public service announcement, do not play this one. Dreams, fantasies, illusions on Amiga, and virtually nothing else is acceptable. If you see the Spidersoft logo, close the game and then burn down your computer just to be sure. PC Format not specifically being a games magazine meant there was even room to squeeze on a little Windows front end called Gaze. And so, the appearance in May 1994 of the cover CD understandably presents a problem for your average PC magazine. At an average here of 500 kilobytes a program, theoretically they would need to somehow have rights to include 1,300 separate things in order to fill it. That's not going to happen, obviously. So how the hell did PC Format go about doing so? I couldn't get the cover CD from this issue, so I've gone with the previously mentioned fourth one from 2 months later. And immediately the first aspect of the answer to how do you fill a 650 megabyte cover disk in 1994 is, you don't. PCF4 clocks in at 435 megabytes. Still a hefty wodge of stuff by the day's standards. That's bigger than the hard drive that was in my PC at the time after all. Imagine if they gave away a 6 terabyte cover disk today. So where is all this space going? Well, by and large it's not really going to the headline acts here. The primary demo is for Yesterzine approved point and click adventure game Sam & Max Hit the Road, but that's only 15 megabytes. Second build Desert Strike isn't even a megabyte. Ishar 3 is another megabyte. The final large print program is Music at the Pianist, which is 200 kilobytes. The intro animation to the menu clocks in at more than those three put together. I say menu, but it's mostly just a list of instructions on how to run all the programs directly from the command line. Did I mention this was the PC circa 1994? I feel I must have. There is a menu, but it's just for the stuff that needs a hard disk installed, charmingly located just after the page telling you how to skip the intro animation that by definition you had already skipped if you are reading this page. There is, to be fair, some good stuff here. Sam & Max and Desert Strike are of course both excellent, but there's a good range for all tastes with these games, including a platformer by Doom publishers Apogee. Although, if I'm honest, while I remember rating Hocus Pocus at the time, if you play it now it's pretty clear that in the same year Sega were launching Sonic 3, perhaps a £2,000 PC should have been doing just a little bit better than this by now. Hocus still looks like a mid-tier Amiga game, and has controls noticeably stilted compared to its console friends at the time. Still, it's all welcome. I think I need to take a quick break to explain just how big having this much software on tap was. You weren't exactly going to be downloading this stuff. Well less than 1% of the UK even had internet access, compared to 96% today. There were only 2,000 sites on the entire internet. Prevailing modem speeds were a little under 2 kilobytes a second, and you generally paid by the minute. At around 1p a minute for a local call, if you even had room to download this CD, it would take you nearly 3 days, and cost you just under £40 in phone line charges alone to do so. And if that doesn't sell how early we are in the march towards online, let me share with you the cover of the first PC Format with a cover CD. Yeah, I'll just give you a few more seconds to really drink that one in. The various games and software on the disc together come to a little over 100 megabytes. So where's the rest gone? Well, it's basically various forms of lovely royalty-free media. And I say royalty-free in the sense that nothing has royalties if you don't ask. The biggest share of that space, another 100 megabytes, goes on a folder of 12 fractal animations. 100 megabytes well spent, I think you'll agree. Especially if I show it you at the resolution it was recorded at. There it is. There, in the middle. There. 1994. A further 60 goes on some high quality images using the prevailing professional file format of the time, TIFF. What passes for high quality back then? This does. And to be fair, they're certainly high quality. They're also 640 by 480 pixels, which makes them sadly fairly useless for desktop wallpaper now. And to be fair, they would have been fairly useless then too. Windows didn't support images with this many colours as wallpaper until Windows 95. Moving on, another 50 goes on some entirely random video for Windows codec videos. Obviously, by today's standards, this is not exactly high definition. It's barely definition, but there is some fun here. The first I opened, world1.avi, is that footage of the moon landing they shot at Pinewood Studios, and includes Neil Armstrong fluffing his lines in the first take. Again, it is easy to take the piss now. It's also fun. But this is just not something you'd have on your PC any other way. The CD encyclopedias were only just crawling out. There's no Wikipedia or YouTube, and unless you got lucky and it was repeated on TV, you might never have seen footage like this. These days, of course, we can strap on a headset and live it in incredible definition thanks to the excellent Apollo 11 VR. But back then, this would have been your lot. Equally in VR, we have the lovely The Blue for Under the Water, but back then you got this grainy video or nothing. Hell, you probably watched footage like this back then with David Attenborough talking over the top, and that's not something that would happen these oh wait. Okay, some things haven't changed. Please don't die before this goes out, Sir Dave. Still, even with all that known, it seems amazing that our only hope of seeing any USA life is this 15-second shot of a random American street shot on a potato. Next for me though comes the treasure trove. I've done a video on this before, but if I were to open the mod folder and double click this file, I imagine you'll find it faintly familiar. Yeah, this is 12th Warrior by Bjorn Lynne, then better known as Dr. Awesome, and now much better known as the creator of many of your favourite game themes, including that for Worms. He's also the owner of music licensing company Shockwave Sound, by whose kind permission 12th Warrior is the much lesser known theme tune to your favourite YouTube series. And it was this disc, and this file, an astonishingly tiny 138 kilobytes, where I first discovered it. Did PC Format in any way license it? I really bet they didn't, or the other 289 files in this folder, especially as one of them is 12th Warrior again. And one of the others is very clearly the theme tune from the TV series Airwolf. Still, none of this mattered to a 13-year-old whose only other method of getting music was attempting to tape it off the radio or buying albums on cassette. 30 megabytes doesn't go as far as it does with the mods, with a bunch of WAV files with similar names to the videos, but which don't seem to be the soundtracks for them. I'm not sure what I can even say about this lot, except to play you this. Try and guess its one-word name before it finishes. To give you an idea, we have Tropic, Deep, and US elsewhere in the folder. That was business. Clearly, I've been so long since I've been in an office, what with the plague and everything, I've forgotten what they were like, because I do not remember that at all. A whole 1.6 megabytes is taken up by some classic MIDI, such as this royalty-free version of Beethoven's Fifth, that really does lose something if we pipe it through Windows 10's Sod It That Will Do sound font. What's left? Well, not a lot. We got a bit of art to come. First, some 3D CGI pictures, an invaluable resource if you have, for instance, forgotten what a living room looks like, or a canyon, or in the 3 minutes since we saw the video, another sodding fractal. Licensed? Dunno. They come from a range of weird locations, including a single shot from the least interesting area of the Seventh Guest. The last location appears to be mostly bitmap versions of those TIFFs, including one to go with business.wav. This is what business looked like in 1994, folks. I'm suddenly starting to think that Job Simulator was not the parody I'd always assumed. Still, we can be mean, but when this was your only source of new things to cram into your PC that month, for a $5, including a magazine, there's a lot of fun to be had here, especially from those games and applications. In fact, I want to save a special mention for one of those application demos, Paint Package Fauve Mertis. Because how do you demo a paint package? Just give them the obvious features? Well, then you're just showing them Microsoft Paint. Give them a bunch of stuff? Well, that might be all they ever need and there's no need to buy the product. The solution Fauve Matisse went with was, give them everything. Oh, but it'll only work in grayscale. Brilliant. This problem solved itself, of course. As more and more things came on CDs, then the cover CDs filled up with CD-based demos, and the brief period of throwing any old crap on it to justify its existence was, sadly, over. This feature was taken from an episode of Yesterzine, the literal magazine show, where every month we look at a new magazine and pull out slices of history like this. To see them before the thumbnail clicking masses, simply subscribe to this channel and tune in last Friday of every month.